Going live. Welcome, everyone. Hello, this is Dr. Kamani, licensed clinical psychologist. I have a special guest with us again today, and you are tuning in for Black Women in Toxic Jobs. How do we live our dreams, right? And so we're going to get started right into the conversation. I know many of you are probably at work right now, and so you're probably tuning in. So this is going to be short and sweet, right? We're just going to give you some nuggets, okay?
Yeah.
And please share this with other Black women also. So you can watch this now. Hopefully, you're watching the replay, watch it again and again, share with other Black women, right? Because we all need to connect to our dreams, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn it over to my guest, Alecia Renice, for her to introduce herself, and then we're going to get right into the conversation.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me again. I really appreciate it. My name is Alecia Renice. I am a healing artist and a creative facilitator. I help Black women love themselves and chase their dreams, whatever that dream may be. So, yeah,
Yes,
that's what I do. And I create
yes,
music. But yeah, that's my mission to spread love. So,
yes. So, Alicia, I'm wondering for Black women, because I talk a lot about toxic jobs, right? But
mhm.
just thinking about just any type of difficult situation, such as a toxic job, how does this rob us of our dreams? Can you share a little bit
Yeah.
about that?
Absolutely. So if we're at a toxic job, right, not just a job that we enjoy doing, but like a
Mm-hmm.
toxic job, it drains us of our energy, it drains us
Mm-hmm.
of our confidence,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of puts us in a place of despair. Like I've been in a place where I was at a toxic job for years, and
Mm-hmm.
for the life of me, I felt like I couldn't leave because I felt like this was the practical thing to do. Like
Yes.
I can't really have any rooms, and my room for my dreams is kind of on the outside. Like work is
Yeah.
my life and this is
Mm-hmm.
extra. So if I get around to it,
Mm.
wonderful, but there's not enough room, energy, time, or passion left over, honestly, when you're getting beat up every single day to really pursue your dreams. You know what I mean? So,
Yes, right? So it robs us of our energy, our
yeah,
joy, right? Our focus, because we're devoting, it's like we're like signing our life away,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like you do this job to make money to survive, but you're not living.
That,
Right? It's
exactly, that.
it's so crazy. It's like, and I talk to Black women, and that leads to the next question too.
Mhm.
So what would you say to a Black woman who's listening right now who says, I don't have time to connect to my dreams. That's for other people. I got too many responsibilities. I got bills. I'm saying? Like I gotta be
Yeah,
in reality.
yeah.
What would you say to her? Because I hear that a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I would say to question what is reality. Like, why do we think
Mm,
that our dreams are somehow far fetched, right? Because the
yes,
job that you're working at is somebody's dream. Like, literally, somebody dreamed of the job that you're at right now. And so, why do you
yes,
think that your jobs are not a viable, or excuse me, your dreams are not a viable option? That's what I would say
yeah.
first to question, like, why is this not realistic? The second thing I would
Mm,
say is that you don't have to, be the next big person. Like you can start dreaming small today. Like it doesn't take
mm-hmm,
much to dream. Like just set aside 5 minutes and just
mm-hmm.
daydream. Like literally just let your mind
Yeah,
wander for a second, or
yeah.
ask yourself, like have some prompts, like really sit there and be like, you know what, if everything was okay, if my bills were paid, if I didn't have any worries in the world, what would I be doing? You know what I mean? And
Mm,
that in itself is giving yourself permission to dream outside of what you're experiencing now, which is like the
yeah.
gateway to like the dream. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
yes,
I would
yes.
also say that, and this is how I feel. You can't afford to not follow your dreams. Like you're,
Mm,
I don't think our dreams were just given to us just by happenstance. I feel like our dreams were
mm-hmm,
given to us to change the world, even if it's in a small way. Like if I dream of driving cross country and I fulfill that dream, there's going to be something in me, something I gained from that experience that I can't foresee right now, but it might
mm-hmm.
make me a better person, even if I want to, go to a different job. Like
Yeah.
your dreams need you and you need your dreams, you know?
I
So,
love that. Can
yeah.
you elaborate on what you said in terms
Sure.
of you can afford
Yeah.
to not live
Yeah.
your dreams? Talk a little
Yeah.
bit more about that. That was profound.
Yeah, I think that we put a lot of stock in what we can feel and touch like right here.
Hmm. Yeah.
And so I understand the fear, but I think that there are so many people on the other side of your dream, including yourself. Right. Like,
Mm.
like, I think that we, come from a very service kind of perspective, like working
Hmm.
in the fields that we work in. But I think that sometimes we underestimate the joy that we're missing out on, the health that we're missing out on, and our
Mm.
dreams. And I don't think that our dreams die. Like I've
Yeah.
read this before and I really believe it. I think that dreams turn into a cancer. Like it eats away at
Mm.
us, right? Like it takes up space. Like when we're not following our dreams, we become envious, we become bitter, we feel heavy, we feel depressed, right? Because
Yes.
we're not moving what needs to move through us. We're not
Yes.
putting it out in the world. It's like it just becomes heavy and a burden. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
And I think a
yeah.
lot of times too, it becomes like a sort of depression when we feel like
Yeah.
we're lying to ourselves, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
this is not, and I'll just think about a video that Stephanie Perry did earlier, or I think last week. Like,
Yeah.
this cannot be it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like, is
Yeah.
this it? Like, my life is
Yes.
not supposed to be just it. It's got to be
No.
more than this, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I think you talked about too in terms of what are some of the barriers to Black women feeling like we can connect to our dreams. A lot of it
Yeah.
is fear-based,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so in those little hypothetical comments I made about I can't, do this because I have, responsibilities, I have bills, I have kids, I have all these different things, right?
Yeah.
Can you speak to the fear part? 'Cause I know you did a phenomenal
Yeah.
video or
Oh.
videos
Oh.
actually
Thank you.
talking about embracing our fear and moving towards our dream. And actually, our part one was don't let fear rob you of your dreams or your
Yeah.
freedom, right? Can you
Absolutely.
talk just a little bit more about that, and particularly in
Yeah.
relation to dreams and fear?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Number one, like I said before, fear is not bad. Fear is well wishing. It just wants to keep you safe. Right? Like, I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
fear being rejected because we don't like the pain of rejection. I get it.
Yes.
And I also feel like for Black women, there's like a special kind of like imposter syndrome that we face because we grow up
Mm.
hearing things like, we got to be two times as good to get half as far, right? And
Yes.
so when you
Yes.
have that kind of mindset, you already count yourself out. You already say,
Mm.
you know what, there's no use of me even trying because the world is not going to be receptive to what I'm doing anyway. Like we already count ourselves out.
Mm.
So I do want to
Mm.
acknowledge that. And I also
Yeah.
want to acknowledge trauma that happens, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
some of our fears are based on things that we've experienced before, not
True.
right.
Or that we've seen, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So they're valid.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think that sometimes we focus so much on what we fear because we can't see again what's on the other side of that thing. We see what we might lose. We see who might say something. We see, the perceived obstacles in the future, but we can't
Mm-hmm.
see the benefit on the other side.
Mm.
And I think that when we focus on the why we want to do
Mm-hmm.
something, like instead of like what could go wrong? Why am I doing this?
Mm.
Like, what is the reason behind my dream? I think sometimes that's
Yes.
easier to hold on to than, oh, don't be afraid, be fearless. Because I don't think fearless is a thing. Like fearless
Yeah.
doesn't exist. You just
Yeah.
become brave by doing the thing through fear and start small. You
Yes.
don't have to do big.
Yes.
You can start small.
Yes. And I think it's good to acknowledge that you are going to experience fear, and fear
Yes.
is not necessarily a bad thing. And
No.
experiencing fear doesn't mean don't pursue your dreams,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when you were talking too, I was thinking, I just felt this sense of um, how us dreaming goes back to like Trisha Hersey, right? In terms of
Yes.
the NAP ministry, in
Yeah.
terms of giving us ourselves permission to rest,
Yeah.
giving ourselves permission to dream. And I think as Black
Yes.
people, we have gone through so much and we continue to go through so much
Yeah.
that survival is, we're
Yes.
thinking about survival, right? So how do I pay
Yes.
these bills? How do I survive? How do I keep this job? I need this job because I need this, right?
Yeah.
And so we're so focused on survival. And I
Yeah.
think about just in terms of our ancestors, in terms of the gift and the honor to our ancestors and showing that we value so
Yes.
much in terms of what they
Yeah.
sacrificed for us, that we can now rest, right?
Yeah.
That we
Yeah.
can now, embrace joy. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about Black Joy also, the book
Yes.
Black Joy.
Yeah.
We can connect to our dreams, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's our birthright. But we've
Yes.
been conditioned, right, not to believe that, right? So we have to reject the lie, right? We're
Absolutely.
rejecting the lie, okay?
Absolutely.
Yes. So, Alicia, can you share with the audience how have you rejected the lie? Like, how did you even come to this point of like, no, this is the life I want, and being
Yeah.
very intentional
Yeah.
about living that life?
It honestly took me years of being afraid to pursue my dreams, of being afraid of
Mm,
my dreams. So when I was younger,
hmm.
again, when you're a kid, you think anything's possible. Like,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? You can go to the moon if you wanted to.
Yes.
But I think the older that we get and the more that we like matriculate through, school and things like that, the
Hmm.
lesser our container, like the smaller our container becomes. Like you have
Hmm.
to go
Trapped.
down. Yes, exactly. You got to go
Hmm.
down this path. This is the, take this SAT to determine what school you're going to go to, which determines what
Hmm.
your career is going to be, right? Like
Hmm.
we're told like we can be anything, but then as we get older, it's like, oh, we've been lied to. We can't do anything, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so
You're in
then,
a box.
Yes, exactly. And I
Mm-hmm.
think for a long time, I felt very depressed because I felt
Mm,
like I was doing it wrong. Like I was a late
mm,
bloomer in every sense of the word. I didn't resonate
mm-hmm.
with a lot of stuff that people were resonating with. I couldn't see myself being at this job for the rest of my life. Like I just
Oh, I
couldn't.
couldn't either.
No,
Ooh.
like
Yeah,
it
I was like,
was.
oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yes, yes. And the fact that people were so calm and like seemingly happy there, I was like, something's wrong
Mm,
with me. Like I'm the
ah,
problem. That's how it started. And then
mm,
I just started giving myself permission to actually just
yeah.
like let me try something different. And I was afraid. I was afraid of people not understanding me or people thinking I'm
Mm-hmm.
lazy or,
Mm,
eccentric. But I've been called weird my whole life. So,
mm-hmm.
that came along with some, I guess some tougher skin. But
Yeah. Wait,
I
can
really
I pause for a second, Alicia?
absolutely. Yes, yes, please.
Okay. I just want to honor and uplift us being okay with being different. Okay.
This.
Because
Yep.
when we're not different, we fall into this trap of the social programming and we're following not only are we disconnected from ourselves, we're
Hmm.
disconnected from our dreams and we're fulfilling a bigger agenda that's not
Yes.
even meant for us and our well-being, right?
Yeah.
So I just had to say pause
Yeah.
because whenever people think of weird, they think a negative thing. I think opposite. It is not a bad thing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, go
No,
on.
no. I agree. I love being a weirdo. I love it.
Yes, me
I
too.
love
Me
it.
too. Yes.
Yes. And it took, and again, like you said, like it took time for me to accept, like, oh, I'm weird. I'm different. Something's wrong with me. It's
Hmm.
like, no, actually, I'm just myself, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, like after leaving my job that I told you last time, I was having back problems at my job
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
like I think in that moment for me it was very obvious that I don't care what has to happen, this job will not kill me. Like this job
Mm.
will not beat me down to a pulp, and I would rather bet on myself than a job
Hmm.
that doesn't care about me either way, right? Like,
Right.
and the worst case scenario is I have to find another job. I'm
That's
employable.
a nightmare right there, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
literally, that's the worst case scenario. So why not give myself the opportunity and the chance to see things
Hmm.
through? And for me, that started with photography. Photography was
Mm.
my way out of, the corporate world. I started taking like portrait photographies of people wedding and these kinds of things. And I actually saw like, okay, bills are getting paid. Things are getting done. Also, what I need is less, right? Because you don't consider the factors and the money it takes to get to your job, to pay for lunch, to what I'm saying,
Mm.
to pay for the chiropractor when your back is acting up, right? Like
I pay for therapy.
exactly. Exactly.
Real talk.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So, and once I saw that and realized that even when I did fail, that the world didn't
Hmm.
end and I can get up and try again, it gave me more
Hmm.
fuel. Like it's almost like I became more brave by doing the
Mm.
thing in
Yes.
practice, not by reading a book
Yes.
or going to a convention. No, just by doing the thing. And
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's important for Black women to know when you get to that point where you're like, no, I'm miserable. I'm
Yeah.
so unhappy. And for
Yes.
us to pause, take a moment to pause and evaluate what is making you unhappy. What are
Yes.
all the factors contributing to you being unhappy? And saying, you know
Yes.
what is it that I really want in my life?
Yeah.
And start coming up with a plan and pursuing that. And God provides,
Yes.
right? So you
Yes.
stepped out on faith and God provided, just like for me. God
Yes.
provided. I was like,
Yes.
I'm scared, but I got to get out of here because I knew
Yeah.
I was going to die, literally,
Yeah.
right? And so
Mhm.
leaving,
Mhm.
it revealed new paths for me that I never could have imagined,
Exactly.
right?
And that
Yes.
that that point is key because I think that we hold on to our jobs because we think it's a sure thing. But
Mm,
even talking about God, I'm just like, what would God want me to sit at this job and die? Never, never, never chasing the dreams that God put in my heart, right? Like God put these
yes.
dreams here. It's not just about me,
Yes.
it's about the people I'm supposed to serve too. So while I'm
Yes.
suffering at this job, other people are suffering too. And for me, that weighed so heavy on me. Like I
Yes.
have to serve. I got to do what I got
Yes.
to do. Yeah.
Yes. How are you not fulfilling God's purpose for you? And how are other people missing out on your gifts because you're stuck and dying
Yeah.
at this miserable, toxic job, right?
Yes.
So that reframe is so
Yes.
important, right? So you talked in terms of, you came to the realization, you started pursuing other things, right? You talked also about people's negative talk,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
many times we are fearful or we don't want to look a certain way in front of people,
Yeah.
right? What can you say to Black women about that? Because either
Mhm.
people might be saying something to you,
Yeah.
or it might just be in your head about how you think people are going to see you or
Yeah.
how people are going to compare you to other people. What would you
Yes.
say to a Black woman who's listening and thinking like, oh man, I want to, but
Yeah. Yeah. I would say to honor your fears and really say, what is the worst thing that could happen? Like,
Mm,
allow yourself to go there. Don't pretend to not be afraid. Don't pretend to, like,
yeah.
I don't care what they say, because you do care. And it's okay to
Yes.
care. Like,
Yes.
it's okay to
Yes.
care about what people think. But allow yourself to go there. Oh, this person will disown me. Oh, this person will X, Y,
Mm,
and Z. And then from
hmm.
there, be like, okay, what would that mean if they did
Yeah.
disown me? Right? What is
Yeah.
the real fear? The real fear is not is not people's words. That's not the real
Yeah.
fear. The real fear is them confirming something that you think about yourself sometimes, right? Like, sometimes
Mm,
for me, like, I realized
mm.
I was looking for other people to approve of me because I didn't believe in myself. And if they
Oh,
believed in
yes.
me, then I was, my dreams were valid. When no, like, Alecia, you are sacred. You are
Yes.
enough. If you never had a
Yes.
job, if you never did anything amazing, if no one ever knew your name, you're still enough. So can you work
Yes.
from that place, right? And so my reason why I want people to acknowledge that and to face it is so that you can
Yeah.
really do the work before you even chase the dream or while you're chasing it, right? Like, so for me, I was afraid of people not understanding me, right? People not understanding me
Mm,
is a thing. It's like, okay,
mm,
well, do you need people to understand you to do your thing?
mm, mm.
And are you asking people what they think about what you're doing? Are they doing what they're supposed to be doing, or are they giving you their fear too? Like,
Point
you know,
taken.
yeah, like you have to really protect. When I mean protect your dream, I mean protect your dream even from yourself. And sometimes we can be
Yes.
our own, like, saboteurs, right? Like, we can just be like,
Absolutely.
forget it, people aren't going to get it. But be honest
Yeah.
about what you fear. Really
Yeah.
interrogate that thing. Why do I care about what they think? What would that mean if somebody
Mm,
did walk away from me? That I'm unlovable, that I'm not enough, that
mm,
what I
mm.
think about myself is true? And then do
Yeah.
that work and then enter your dreams that way. That's what I would
Wow.
say.
Yes, yes, yes. And I think it's important to remember that by not chasing your dreams, in addition to what we talked about
Yeah.
already, when you don't chase your dreams, you are literally living your worst nightmare. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like many times
Yes.
we think, oh no, like if I lose my job, being at this job, you're living your worst life,
That
basically,
part.
right?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
what can you do to start putting things in motion so that
Yeah.
you are living a life that you want to have, right?
Absolutely.
So, Alecia, can you
Absolutely.
share with the audience how do you support other Black women in terms of
Yeah.
connecting to their dreams?
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel, Alicia Renese the artist. I share my
Please
journey, but
subscribe.
also, yes, please, if you enjoy it. I share my journey as an artist, but I also encourage other creative Black women on my channel as well. I have a group called The Garden where we meet every Tuesday. We come together, we sit, we talk, we support each other, we ask questions. And I also have a program coming up called Get Unstuck and Get Started, which is
Mm,
launching in February. This is our second go round, which I'm really excited about. But I help Black women take their ideas from dreaming to doing. And it's
mm,
like, yeah, it's a 12-week process. So I'm really excited about that, to see what we create together, what we start together. Because
I
I'm
love
really
it.
big on the mission in people's heart and helping them, like, demystify and make things more simple so that we can
Yeah,
actually get started. Because we can get in our own way thinking it has to be this big, and no, like, you can start small and it's still
yeah.
impactful.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So how would a Black woman find out about this? Like get more
Yeah.
information and how would they register?
Yes, yes. So next Wednesday, actually at 12, I'm hosting a free workshop on my YouTube channel. But you can sign up at aliciarenese.me/get started. Again, that's aliciarenese.me/get started. And I'll send you an email inviting you to the workshop. And then I'll also be emailing the women who may be interested in joining the journey. Because even if people don't join, I still want them to have the tools and the resources to be able to chase their dreams, because that's the whole point
Yes.
anyway. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So I'll put all that information in the description section. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
please, everyone, subscribe to Alicia's channel and then check out on Wednesday the free presentation, right?
Yeah,
And
yes.
also sign up to chase your dreams. Okay. It's
Yes.
very important, very important. So, Alicia, I just want to read some comments from the chat.
Sure.
Okay. And I
Sure.
try to do it in real time, but it's really hard for me to do
It's
that. So
okay.
I'm going to read the comments. Okay. So, people are like, oh, this is heavy. Thank you for talking about this. It's okay to be weird. Needed that. Exactly. We've been taught to follow a blueprint that wasn't created for us to survive, let alone thrive. Yes, absolutely.
Speak.
Man, oh man, been there, done that. Hey, beautiful ladies. Hope everyone has great
Hi.
starts to 2023. Flip the narrative, Alecia, honest and interrogate the fear. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Black women, they shout out your channel, right?
Oh, thanks.
Um, and let me just say this. Oh, and somebody already subscribed to your channel, right?
Oh,
So let me just say before we wind down that I love Alicia's channel, right?
oh,
So the thing she
thanks.
says, and I actually contacted her because I was like, you are so authentic. Like I just want to just meet you, right? And I connected to Alicia and she was very receptive, right? And she just really embodies what it means to be authentic to yourself
Wow.
and be transparent, right? And also how she shares her own healing journey
Mm,
to help support the healing of other Black women, right?
mm,
And that just connected to me with me on so many levels, right? I feel like I'm trying to do the same thing. And I think the more Black women do this, the
yes.
more of us see that healing is possible. And that's
Yes.
what we need to see, right?
Yes.
So you share your story, I share my story.
Yeah.
Colette Elizabeth tells her story. Stephanie Perry
Yes.
tells her story.
Yes.
Adelia tells her story. Rashida tells her story, right? So
Yeah.
all these powerful women are telling our stories
Mm,
because we don't want you as Black women, if you are listening, Black women, we do not want anyone to feel stuck. And we do
yes.
not want any Black woman to feel like they have to stay in a situation because of fear.
Yeah.
Okay. The
Yeah.
fear is going to be there, right?
Yes.
We're not going to say, oh, just do it anyway, right? We're saying the fearful is there and it's okay to be
Yes.
fearful, right?
Yes.
And it's okay to move forward too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I see additional comments. Thank you so much. Share me the
Thank
information, share the information with me. So I will be sharing the information with
you. Oh,
everyone.
thank you.
And as we're winding down, I also want to tell the audience that Alecia has resources. I have resources. So many Black women have resources for you, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so what I'm trying to do on my channel now too is not only to talk about the healing journey, but I want to bring in other Black women to
Mm-hmm.
talk about what you can do, right?
Yeah.
So if you are in this situation, what can you do to help you heal?
Yeah.
So Alicia Renice is
Yes.
here sharing about ways to heal. I also have a coaching program for Black women healing from toxic jobs, in terms of really dealing with that mess,
Yeah.
right? So how do we get our minds together so heal and we're in a better position to kind of identify and move
Yeah.
towards what it is we want professionally, okay?
Yes.
So I'll put information about that in the description
Yes.
section as well. And then on Thursday, you guys are getting a double dose, right? That's tomorrow. Okay.
It
So
is.
tomorrow, I'm having a part two with Anne Marie Archer, right? So Anne Marie talks about, as Black women, when we're in these toxic, hostile jobs or discriminatory jobs, how do you um, learn what to do in terms of leaving with your coins? Okay. So I'm from the perspective, and I don't know about you, Alecia, but I'm from the perspective of I think it's very difficult to heal in the same environment that's harming you. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, some people, want to stick it out, and I respect that, right? For different reasons, they might want to stay at their jobs. I respect that, right? My perspective is, I don't think you can heal, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? I think you can do some band-aid things, but I think ultimately you need to be in an environment where you're being respected, affirmed, and that you're safe,
Yes.
right? So in terms of not only the physical safety, but the psychological safety. And I think that's very challenging when we go in these work environments.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow, tune in for Anne Marie Archer and I having a follow-up discussion. So we previously talked about the first steps to leaving a toxic job. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the next steps. Okay.
Mm.
So I'll put the link in the description section of our first discussion. And well, actually, we've had two discussions. I'll put those links in the description section. And please subscribe to my channel, Lifting Us to Climb Consulting, Wellness Services. Emery, Alecia, I'm thinking
It's
about
okay. It's
Alecia.
okay.
Any
Yes.
last comments before we leave for today?
Yes, I think what you said about when you were naming all these beautiful Black women who are making impact, right? Like I think of
Yes.
a tapestry, like I think of or like a puzzle piece,
Mm,
right?
yes.
Everybody's taking up space and playing their part, and it's all like
Yes.
working together for the greater good of everybody. And I think
Absolutely.
that's the point. It's like even with our dreams, for example, no dream is too small, no dream is
Yes.
too big, even like
Yes.
you playing your part, you being your full authentic self is what's most important. And if you have to leave
Yes.
your job to do that, you got to do it because
Yes.
I really believe you will be provided for and people will be impacted by your story,
Yes.
by your sharing, your gifting, because we all come in here with gifts. It's time for us to like share it and spread it. So that's just how I feel. So,
Yes, yes, yes. And I
yeah.
think also recognizing that our primary focus is on us living. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
really,
Yeah.
right? And just so many people at these toxic jobs are dying. And so we
Yes.
have to remember that no job is worth our well-being, our health, right? Dr. Nadia Lopez talks about, you know, stop killing ourselves for jobs that would not grieve for us in our grave, right? Why are we doing this? Right. And then also thinking about the impact that us being these toxic jobs has on not only us, but on our family, right? Our children, our parents, our
Yes.
loved ones, our spouses, right?
Yep.
So it has that impact. And we have to say, no, no
Yeah.
more. And I just want
Yes.
to say this one last thing, Alecia, right? So, you know, the fact that I was able to reach out to you and you're receptive, right? The
Mhm.
fact that you share your story so openly with other Black women, this is such a positive model of sisterhood, of Black
Yeah.
sisterhood, right? And
Yeah.
I believe so deeply in sisterhood,
Me too. Yeah.
so deeply in it. As a Spelman alum, and this is a Black woman, right? I
Yes.
believe in sisterhood and just that, and just being able to connect to so many other powerful Black women
Yeah.
has meant so much to me in this journey, in
Same.
this healing journey,
Yeah.
just to see that so many of us are invested in the healing of other Black women, right?
Yes.
That we
Yes.
recognize it as we move forward. So as we lift, as we climb in
Yeah.
my business, as we move forward and build, that we're helping other Black women build
Yes.
too. And just I
Yes.
want to give a shout out to Colette Elizabeth. She's talking about the same things I'm talking about here, right?
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, I have to connect to this woman, right?
Yes.
And I connected to her. And it's like literally, I feel like we're sisters, right? Like the
Yeah.
same thing, the same, right? And so I'm just encouraging more of us that if we know we're hurting, that we lift each other up.
Yeah.
Okay. If you see your sister's hurting, lift her up. Please don't
Yeah.
step on her.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you
Mm.
need help, please seek help. Okay.
Yes.
So therapy is a beautiful thing. I'm a therapist, but I also go to therapy. So it's a beautiful thing, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'll put resources also about how to connect to a therapist, a Black therapist. Okay.
That's lovely.
So, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
So, again, subscribe to Alicia's channel, subscribe to my channel. I'll
Yes.
put all the resources in the description section and tune in tomorrow for Anne Marie as we talk
Will
about
do.
the next steps for leaving a toxic job. So,
Yes.
enjoy the rest of your day, everyone, and hope to see you all tomorrow. Alicia, if you could just stay on for a moment.
Sure.
Okay. Bye, everyone.